here we arrive at the second form that we're going to design. It should not include any validation for any fields. So basically, the validation that earlier we put for the email address, if we were designing this form tells us not to put any of these validations. So any validation that we're going to put, we have to basically code it. The form should not include an automated routine to save the data. So we don't need to create a button to save the data, yeah? The form should include a button labeled Update Donor Record. So basically we will code a button called Update Donor Record. As we can see here already, donor is a different table. We've got donation and donor. If we go up here, table donor, table donation, yeah? Let's move on with the requirements. The donation date should be automatically set to today's date. We'll see how we do that. The user should be able to select the donor. So you can see here, it's not all about the donation table, it's about the donor table here as well. So basically we have to create a form that includes two tables in it. The donor status as well is part of the donor table, and it should be displayed on the form. So basically we will see what will display and what not after we revise the requirements. The user should be able to input a donation payment. When the user clicks on the Update Donor Record button, an updated total donation should be displayed on the form or in the message box. Yeah, so that's, we will encode the donor record button so that it displays this, and an updated donor status should be displayed on the form or in a message box, e.g. changing from bronze to silver. That will take us back to the requirements. If we look at the requirements, if we read the whole thing, yeah, so here we have something about a part B set task brief. That is not included in here. It's not included in here, so we must not miss it. That's why we must read everything in the task. So if we actually copy that now, add these conditions here, so we have them handy. This defines the bronze status. This defines the silver status, if you read, the gold status and the platinum status. First of all, no validations, we know it. It should not include an automated routine to save the data. So no save button, but an updated button. Yeah, this one here. So now let's go and create the form. And now we create, using the form wizard, a form using the fields from donor. Just pop them all in there. And the fields from donation. Pop them all in there. Next, it takes us straight to this here. If we choose this one, be careful. By donor, it will create something called a subform, yeah, and it will look like this. Now, this is not useful because we need the fields. We need to be able to fill them in. We don't want just to display things in a manner of one to many. So each donor can make many donations. If we go to database tools and relationships, the donor and the donation, it's a one-to-many relationship. Donor ID, yeah, is a foreign key. So that has migrated there. So when enforce referential integrity was checked, then the one-to-many relationship appeared here. That indicates that for each donor there are many donations, which shows in this subform here. Each donor has basically many donations, and if we see, there's many donations here from Bridges, many donations from this one here, many donations from that one, and so on and so forth. Most of them, seems that most of them are platinum. Anyway, yeah, so we don't want this. Let's scrap this. So we go back to the form wizard, select again the donation table, pop everything there. The donor table, pop everything there. Next, we don't want it by donor so that we get the subform. We don't want that. We want it by donation so that we just get fields in the table. The layout doesn't matter because we're going to rearrange it. This doesn't matter either because it will open in form view. Let's say finish. Okay, and we're going to modify this in right click design view. So basically we have this. Let's quickly size to shortest and size to narrowest. That didn't serve us well. Let's press Ctrl Z because so basically this one goes like that, and then we can all make them to that size. These ones size to narrowest. For the time being we just leave it as it is and we'll take it from there. First of all, we want a button labeled update donor record. I'm going to copy this and add the button here. Let's go to the command button. Just cancel all that. It doesn't need to be any particular button. And we paste Ctrl V. So now we've got update donor record. Let's expand it to show the word record as well. Okay, make it a bit wider. If we right click, as we said before, and we click on build event, and we don't get this window but we get the macro builder, and we are confused, just close it, don't panic. If this window does not appear, for us to select code builder, but it takes us straight to the macro builder, we say convert forms macros to Visual Basic, say convert, say OK, and then if we say build event, it will take us straight to this one here. In case that this doesn't appear, there's a glitch. Sometimes there's a glitch and this doesn't appear. So we want the code builder, So we want to encode command 17, which is, if we check the name of the command, name command 17, The caption is update donor record. The caption is like a label to the button, and the name has to do with the actual name that we're going to use in the code. So it's important to use this command button or change its name or whatever. It doesn't really matter. We can call it update donor record as long as we don't put spaces. So we can call it update donor. Update donor. See that I didn't put any spaces here. So now when we right click build event, it says update donor. And this is still there, so that we just need to delete it. We need to go back to the requirements, and says first of all, after the donation, the update donor record button, the donation date should be automatically set to today's date. I'm doing this on the 28th of October 2020. So basically, let's go to the donor's date. There it is. Not the label, the text box. We need to code that. This is something that we have to learn. We go to data, and where it says default value, we say equals. Now, all functions are open and close bracket. We don't need to put any arguments in there. In the brackets is where the argument, but we don't need to do any. You could put arguments in there that define the format of the date. For instance, instead of saying the 28th/10/2020, it could say 20 OCT 2020. So we just leave it as it is. You have to learn that, and we open it. In a new record, we will get today's date. We need to, that's the 25th. If we go to new record, it shows today's date, you see. But we want this like before. It will be best if the new record appears automatically. Let's go to the design view, and as before, we go to data entry, yes. So that's the data entry. We want to put it in data entry mode, the yes, So these things we have to learn them. Open it, and it's new record with today's date, you see, and it's got more information there, even the time. Or we don't want the time, we just want this. It says now the user should be able to select the donor. So let's stop this tutorial here. We've done more or less up to here, and we will move on to this one to select the donor in the next lesson, and we will do this gradually in quite a few tutorials.